It's Monday, and here we are with another Flyquest Red ESEA game. Tonight, they're against Full House, and I'm joined by Tony Wynot. How you doing, Tony?
Doing wonderful, glad to be back. Start of a new season, start of a new year. It's been a while since I've been on broadcast for FlyQuest Red, but it doesn't make me any less excited for what we're going to see, especially considering this is a new look FlyQuest as far as I'm concerned for me.
Yeah, Goose Breeder went away to EU. She's no longer on FlyQuest. She actually did find another team, which is really cool to see. She was playing in the JB Cup, I think it was, with Let Her Cook. So good to see that she hasn't lost the touch. But tonight we will be joined by Fox, who will be standing in for her. And we get to see the team's ratings. So we are getting into the third week of ESEA Advanced. So the teams are starting to separate into their various strata: 2-1, 1-2, 3-0. FlyQuest Red sitting at the the rank 16 uh, crash of teams.
Yeah, and I think that one of the most interesting things for me was that this FlyQuest team was not always, but for a considerable period of time, kind of hurting for its identity with the AWP role, and Fox brings something like that when we discuss, the female CS scene in general and the snipers that they can bring to the table. Being from specifically North America, I think Fox is as good as you're going to get, and it's not really even close. So with Emmy now, back to the natural roles in which she was playing in previously, I can only imagine maybe a little bit more comfortability in the roles surrounding the fact that Fox has a little bit more experience under their belt with that role in general. I'm curious to see how this moves forward, but it's the in-game leadership at which I don't really know what's going on there. Maybe you can enlighten me, or maybe even give me an educated guess if you aren't too sure.
So my best guess so far is that there's a lot of chaos. It feels like there's a lot of chaos being thrown because everybody is kind of taking turns making space for the team. Some
Okay.
games it'll be Beyond, some games it'll be Emmy, some games it'll be Vanessa. It's just a kind of a toss up to who's really hot that night. Uh, so it's we'll have to see what kind of a game we get tonight. Last Wednesday we got a BB on show. It was pretty or last Thursday we got a BB on show. It was pretty fantastic. And Fox has been rising to the occasion as well.
Yeah, if I had to make my own personal guess, I'd like to obviously ask them after the game if we get the chance to in an interview. But if I had to make my guess, educated, I think it would be the fact that Emmy is one of the more tenured players in esports in general on this roster, having played way back when it was CLG Red towards the beginnings of or middle rather of 2017, I believe it was, and then obviously then making the transition to Valorant and back to Counter-Strike with all the experience under her belt from a very young age. I feel like that at least makes you a little bit more hardened to the point where I would imagine her maybe picking up those responsibilities, seeing as she actually took on the op role as well. That's like something that not a lot of players are willing to do without that level of experience, even not in that same role, right? So that's my educated guess personally, and I'm very curious to see, as I said, if that interview does come through, if we can get that information from who's actually taking the reins as far as that's concerned.
Honestly, and seeing Emmy play the op in the best of 3 season, the previous season, she's moved between these roles just so well. And I mean, the opening
Probably
game of the
wasn't bad.
season, yeah. Well, on the opening game of the season, she was playing with a fire under her belt. She was absolutely blasting. Unfortunately, that was against Fire Sale, and FlyQuest Red were not able to win that one. But the next two, all W's. And I think this game versus Full House could be another one. Though, bad news for people that are sick of watching Dust2 and Nuke here on the FlyQuest channel. We've got more Dust2. Knife round already concluded. Full House starting on the CT side, FlyQuest on the T side, and Vanessa going to make it right through Suicide. Oh no, never mind. I thought we didn't do knife round. We are doing it now.
The knife round's important. Got to get that knowledge under our belts as we see now that very quickly
Oh,
it's going to be a slash and stab fest, and where topside mid is just stained with blood all over the place. Bodies lay from the top to bottom of that mid ramp, and it will be FlyQuest Red who come out on top of it.
yeah, I got it to a little bit of a false start, but yeah, well, that is going to start FlyQuest right off on the CT side, which historically they have been fairly good at. So get things going with the pistol round.
Seen some of these names throughout the scene kind of floating higher and lower, myself personally, in particular Sabercat and Coco. See what they've got working on Dust 2 now. against one of the more well-composed rosters they'll find as far as firepower and as previously stated, experience is concerned, but a little bit of cohesion that's still yet to be fully put together as they've integrated a new player and shifted around another role. It's another season and another time to maybe make some crazy decisions to test the waters, really get a feel for what you can get away with. And right now, through long doors, Emmy has gotten away with daylight robbery as far as mid-control is concerned, but they forfeited Cat as a response.
Yeah, this could be really nervy for Full House. Fox sitting out in front of Car, just waiting to take that first fight, and she gets flattened. A rush just walks on into the headshot, and that is going to leave that A site fully unlocked for Full House. Flyquest Red sending Marie on over to her doom. A little bit of a misread here for the pistol round. 3 versus 5 now for the retake, and it's not going to be an easy one. Full House have already taken up court on the Cat. Leon still retreating into tons. I'm not really sure what's going on with his retake.
Looks like not very much at all. Just trying to bounce back. Maybe just keep hold of their armor as well as these dual Berettas that Vanessa has to try and utilize them in somewhat of a save, if not a force put together. And I like the idea. They go out through long doors there and they try to get themselves a little bit of early information and maybe engage in a fight. It's not very often you'll see a T-side go for 5 players up catwalk, let alone that quickly. Try. There was no major amounts of utility being thrown in that direction to make Flyquest at all worried about that being the case. So it's not going to go too well for them, but at the end of times, at least they get away with a couple extra kills as well as exactly what they were hoping to save.
Yeah, holding on to those dualies, and the kill is going to be $100 across the team. So at least it's not completely empty-handed, though I don't think that's going to lead to any sort of a force buy here on the second round.
Nah, just hit a little bit of a save, get a kill or 2, and you're pretty much fine. I don't really foresee there being any real problems in that degree. They can just rein it in early on, ensure that their future is secure. Then I don't foresee any major long-term bumps in the road financially, especially if they can win out on their first gun round. But they're playing up against rifles, seeing as the T's had made as much money as they had. It's unusual, I would say. You wouldn't get at least one SMG here. Might come back to bite them if they get too up close to these pistols, who kind of want
Speaking
that
of up
more than
close.
anything else. No flashbang, though, but still a kill from Emmy.
No information, just walking in, and once again, just the headshot on the gamble. That's going to be huge. It's not going to be a weapon recovered, but at the very least, taking away a Galil from the T side on this force buy is going to end up costing them severe amounts. And Vanessa might end up doing a little bit more with these dualies. Oh, but she's caught from behind. No walk from lower tons. Able to get the drop on her, and Sabercat joining into this one as well. So Fox just going to be mopped up here in mid, and Full House convert the force buy.
Very much so. Would have enjoyed the prospect of 1 kill more, perhaps, but all good. Maybe a little bit disjointed after that first kill from Emmy. Thought that there was going to be a more tight-knit walk-up fight if there were to be one at all. But yeah, that pincer maneuver you were talking about allowed to happen, enabled by the fact that there was only 1 player to make that walk up, and now into the next of them only having to reinvest on 1 rifle. Full House are going to be playing one of the more even keel rounds we'll have on this map, I figure, as they all have fully automatic rifles. They all have a little bit of utility to share and spare only a couple bullets in B tons.
Well, that's the aggression that I was talking about in the pre-show. Vanessa just walking into upper tons, taking the battle to Full House. Coco, look how low! And this M4 still has bullets to spray. No walk returns, but that's a huge bonus started off by Flyquest Red, and they've got Emmy sitting behind this push out from Full House. She's just gonna sit in T-spawn and wait for the rotation.
They are not clearing this. Yeah, they're dead
No
easy.
way. Oh my goodness. Everything has gone wrong for Full House. The house is empty. This is not the flop you're looking for with that hand.
Sabercat now last left, dropping a smoke into tunnels will not be disrespected. No reason to. Seeing a little bit of lag right now. If you're unfamiliar, there's been an issue across a multitude of different FaceGo TVs recently, so we may drop from the server at some point in time. Don't fret. Shot through the corner side wall, 41 seconds. That was not the player that had killed their teammates moments ago. That momentary disbelief as to the fact there may be a second is what gets them killed and what gets Flyquest Wed their first round. Wed? Yeah, probably. That's English.
Flyquest Red. Uh, well, that is going to lead us to likely one more full buy on the side of Full House before they're forced to save if they are unable to convert this round. But with that one lost Galil, this might be a little bit off kilter.
The rush has
I was
disconnected.
I was like, I don't hear the weapons being bought, and this should be a buy round. Okay, that's what's happening. Got it.
Player drop from the server, waiting for them to reconnect before any decisions are ultimately made. AK-47 bought by Sabercat would lead you to believe, as Floofy's had alluded to, that they are going to be giving it their all. Two players may not have exactly enough to meet the points at which their Patriots would like, but an SMG never hurt nobody so long as it's used with intention. Not going to write that off.
You would hope an SMG hurts somebody.
Tech 9 instead for utility opted on. That's not also the worst thing in the world. It's just as mobile.
How are you feeling about the 5.7, or not 5.7, MP5 and MP7 after their buffs?
I haven't touched them yet, unfortunately.
I was running around with the MP5 earlier today in Deathmatch, and it can beam things, but it's not the easiest spray in the world.
I think the way that they used to describe it when it first dropped, and I don't know if it was just hyperbole or if it was because they hadn't nerfed it yet, they called it like a pocket AK in the way that the spray worked, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it goes kind of down and to the right.
Could be wrong about that myself, but I don't know. Again, I never used them, so. I'm a traditionalist. I got my MP9. There's no reason to change it until it don't work.
It's funny, they nerfed it at the beginning of last season, and you would have thought that would have made people switch away from it, brought the UMPs back, brought the MP7s and MP5s out early, but everybody took one look at it, was like, nah, still good.
It's just cheap. Like I'm not gonna use the UMP like at all ever. And the fact that the MP9 is just as cheap as it is, I was never going to test the MP7 and the MP5 to really know how good they could be, right? Like there's no purpose. I just throw away a couple extra $100 for a gun I already know works.
That's fair. I don't know. My big fear is just if the MP5 becomes really meta on the T side, because I feel like there's something to be said for the balancing of not letting the T side have a silenced weapon.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. You got me pondering if there's any places on the map I could call for us to force by a couple of them, stand behind a smoke, and then just fire into it all at the same time.
I don't think dust2 is really the map for it. We saw it a lot on Nuke, but as far as SMGs go, if you're going to be running around and flying and jumping, you may as well just buy an MP9 or a MAC-10. Oh, hey, we got a reconnect from a rush, or a rush.
Maybe that's exactly what we're in store for in round number 4, Floofies.
Well, I mean, going back to the pistol, that was what Flyquest Red were definitely expecting with 3 players down long that then snuck all the way through the double doors, but not what we were presented with.
It was kind of a rush. It was cat. More of a contact, though, I guess, more than a rush. So I'm wrong. As per usual. Oh, wait, A rush towards B? Pause. No teammates behind him, though.
That's cheating. Well, this one does look like a bit more of a default utility. Kind of all over the place, but it is leading them back toward that ACAT position, though, much, much faster than before. 2 players set up for Flyquest Red, ready for this push as the utility starts to get dumped on over, and Full House very quickly abort.
Trying to flush out mid doors, see if anybody is behind them. It would be a rather unfortunate surprise if they were to walk into the midst of somebody tucked, but the rifles have been saved from that previous round predominantly, so they can expect it to be a full buy. Bibion, caught by the distraction of the run across, the movement speed as anticipated was exactly as the doctor had intended, and Full House get themselves a B-bomb site, but they also get themselves quite considerably damaged, but they will never know just how low they really are, Flyquest, because this round has already been called to a save. They fold.
Yeah,
How many
I think
can we squeeze in? How many poker jokes can we squeeze in?
I mean, that play looked like a couple of pocket rockets.
Exactly two pocket rockets.
Oh, it was aces.
Yeah, that would be the Tech 9 and the Mac 10.
I mean, it kind of was like the SMGs charging in to breach the site quickly, and Full House just discerning that there were 3 players on that A bomb site, aborting and just flying through mid as fast as they did. I feel like Rocket describes the play pretty well.
Certainly some speed to that, and they get themselves AK-47s across the board as a result, even upgraded from the rifle, or excuse me, the MAC-10 to a rifle is gamble. So they save a little bit of extra bread by skimming off the top. Red can't exactly say the same, and they also can't get a sniper rifle out anytime soon. Beyond yet to buy, match being paused, unsure as to who, but I can only assume it's Flyquest Red either tactically taking something, or yeah, it doesn't seem technical any longer, so that may be the case as we shift weapons and utility around. There is absolutely a call being introduced, perhaps by Sheikh Zula at this point.
That is a good call out, though, that Flyquest Red haven't had the chance to pull out the AWP. Full House have had their foot on the throttle and have stayed in the driver's seat and not really given a chance over. Flyquest Red are really going to need to find a foothold in this half. You would have thought it would have been in that last round, that win in the 1 and 2, but Full House using the aggression very well.
Yeah, I mean, Fox isn't a bad rifler by any means, but Fox is also a player that every opportunity that you possibly can, you do want to get the AWP in their hands. It isn't one of those things where you can debate sometimes as to whether or not you should go for it. I feel that 90% of the rounds where you have the finances to actually support it, get that sniper rifle brought through. That's where Fox is going to do their best work, and that's also where the highest amount of early to mid-round impact may be seen for any team she plays for, other than maybe if Empathy is doing it. But now, it's not the same conversation point where it was kind of the 1-2 punch as far as aggression is concerned from Empathy and Fox. Now it's a one-stop shop that we kind of need to start to invest in. And that's not going to be this round. It's going to be down the future stretch.
Previous seasons, it has felt like the CT side has really been the place to look for Flyquest Red to really pull ahead. But at least so far this season, it feels like they're showing a new look on T side. So we'll have to see whether that comes to pass in this game. Already losing Emmy so early on. Are you trying to sneak through the smoke? Oh my goodness. Oh, this is risky. The flash on through, catches the side of 1 and the second. The trade out of rush, but that does even things right back out at 3. And it looks like Full House with 35 seconds remaining are going to keep this plan engaged. Heading on up Cat, looking to execute out onto the A-bomb site. That's tucking into Ninja. I have to call in some support from her team. 20 seconds, though. This bomb site is fully available to Full House. Should not be anything to stop them, so it is going to be a 3 versus 3 retake.
Fox are very, very patient over at long corner right now, playing from Platt. That's a position that they likely won't be anticipating her from when it comes to the point in back of the site, though. It's Cat where they want to get through, and Vanessa has been at least able to fold the 1, but as previously stated, there has been some issues recently as far as the GoTV is concerned, and we will have to throw it to maybe to a break whilst we attempt to reconnect to the server, so we hope that you bear with us in that time frame, or we could just yap. I'm not sure what you want to do about that, Floofies. We could do that.
Shot so hard they disconnected us from the server. We were watching that, and it was that's next level right there.
Yeah, spoiler alert, Flyquest won that round, by the way. It's 3-2. So that was a successful retake, and I would honestly and truthfully give a lot of credence over to Fox not having actually seen the round unfold. I think that 1 kill going traded at Cat makes it a lot more easy for Fox to say, okay, well, now they know that I'm probably either headed long or I'm already in spawn. So she probably swung by that point and got her 1, and they closed it. That's my prediction. I feel like that's the best way Fox could have played that round, so big props to her.
Yeah, and getting those early, that sneaking through the smoke was such a great heads-up play.
Gulp.
And Here we go back into a fully unlocked A bomb site once again. 4 versus 3. Full house going to be taking this bomb site unabated. And Flyquest Red looking to stop them. Up cat.
This is a toughie. They knew where they had come from earlier. It's now back towards long that they may not be fully prepared for this, but that footstep will now have been heard by Fox, so I can only imagine that once again, communicated was the save, and an exit or two here and there. Perhaps it would certainly enable them to go for yet another buy that they'll be going for anyway, but a more fruitful one than otherwise. But yeah, loss bonus, not exactly swimming in it, but it's just barely still there from that one round they were able to swing back. And I have to wonder whether or not BBon with a kill or two in addition with the loss bonus stacking will be able to drop the op. I think they're going to be just shy of it. Or no, the loss bonus has actually been fully reset. Oof, that's tough.
Yeah, the rounds are being traded back and forth right now. That it's just this whole half has now been put onto very negative spin.
Oh no!
Speaking of disconnecting.
Fox, no. She's like, I am not going to play for this team if you're not saving for my ops. Goodbye and good night. Turn off her computer.
No, that's not the kind of player Fox is. At the very least, she'll wait until after the game to say, I'm done with this.
Oh, I was... I was totally joking, guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, this feels like there's a lot of risks being taken. And we can see the rounds that Flyquest have won is where the risks have paid off. But there's not a lot of, I guess, what feels like standard defense being played on the Flyquest side. So I don't know. Maybe there's something to be said for hanging back a little bit more and trying to play for more information rather than trying to take the first step.
I mean, we missed how last round actually started, so I'm not sure what went wrong there. I'm not entirely a fan of whatever is going on with the third player towards A, who's leaning towards mid. I'm not really 100% as to what's been going on in that direction, but it feels more of their success has come towards Cat than anywhere else, and losing bodies over at mid has been a bit of an issue in the rounds they give up man advantages or can't seem to get them themselves into one. So I think long term, I'm actually okay with how far they've pressed the envelope to try and get that first kill. I'm not too upset with it personally, but I'm just going to need to see a little bit of a rein in from the rest of the team when things go right. And when things go wrong, a little bit more of a pep in their step and reacting to it. Whereas I think the round that they won just previously we got disconnected from was a good example of that. That flashbang into the cat smoke to be able to get themselves 2 kills, not just the one. Even if it meant losing Marie and going to a 3 versus 3, the alternative of a 5v4 was much, much more daunting for them to be playing up against. So,
all right, well, it looks like we've gotten the match medic, so we should be restarting this one fairly soon. 4 versus 2 with, again, Flyquest Red fairly reset in terms of cash. One more pause for good measure. Make sure everybody is all settled in. You can hear what sounds like games being readied up, so we should be started back on here fairly soon. And here we go. Ooh, are we going to get our first B play out of Full House? I mean, maybe not our first. Our first B play ended up in disaster with the Full House players getting gunned down in upper tons. This time, it does look like they're going to be taking a little bit more of a measured approach. Looking at a lower, making sure no one is trying to crunch in on them.
second time they'd done it, they hit a mid to B with those lesser weapons, and it worked out pretty well, though. So now that they're fully kitted at it, now they can try to overwhelm. But I don't foresee there being a world where Flyquest actually hold this bomb site unless BBon is a little more attentive to tons. as time goes by, because Vanessa has nothing to throw at their feet. There's no Molotov to stop them from their entry point. There's no smoke that she can stuff them with. She's going to rely on her teammate to do that. And Miss Molly, that's a problem. But so too is the fact that the bomb site anchor has been killed out, and Vanessa not going to be pressured by any more numbers because of that Molotov. It separated the pack. The 2 players who go through get melted. The third, even less successful than its predecessors, and Vanessa's at double digits as we hit 40 seconds left in this round.
That is disastrous for Full House. Oh my word, that Molotov was everything for Flyquest Red. And that is just, oh, that is so upsetting for a Full House that's been pretty hot to trot as far as this Dust2 game is concerned. Now
They're
trying to
not
sneak
gonna
on
get a
in
plan.
through
What are they
mid.
doing?
Not going to get a plant, not going to get much of anything, although a rush able to get gunned down too, but Emmy from behind to make sure there's nothing more doing here as Flyquest Red bring it back to 1, separating these 2 teams. And the money for Full House now starting to get within a manageable level for Flyquest Red.
That was certainly a decision of all time, with 14 seconds left for them to try and split CT spawn. Not sure what the ultimate goal of that was, but to each their own. Maybe they know something that I don't. But one thing I do know is that they're once again on pistols, and it had worked once in history. However, I think that it repeating itself would be a little bit too tall a task to ask, as these mollies should flush them out from Bood Win. These flashbangs should catch them blind. All of that does work as intended, and Emmy, although isolated, still at the very least gains them a little bit more information as to what's to come. They are still at long.
A great play towards long does leave this an even playing field as Fox catches 1 onto Cat. No kills, but does give information over that this is going to be an A play out of Full House, and that site has been left vacant by Flyquest Red. They're going to have to go in for the retake. They want to succeed here. I'm not yet down, but no walk will rectify that. HP bars that are going to be the thing to really come into play here for Full House. Sabercat down on half, and a rush on about 3/4 HP. Vanessa on half as well.
Still a lot of utility, though, so they should be ready to send that out as the smoke does fade. 25 seconds left on that bomb timer, and as they do go through, you must note they don't have a kit. They're going to be going on to this one, and it's going to be a full 10-second timer, which leaves them only now 5 seconds to kill out everyone or get a top of it with a smoke, which Bibion does have, but what she doesn't have is any more of that sweet, sweet seconds left to get to it, as they are just shot one after another. They may get all the kills, but that will not be enough to secure them around or even the gun save. Vanessa will go up with the bomb, and Full House, well, you guessed it, hit 5-3.
These rounds just being traded back and forth. Flyquest Red, again, they're just unable to establish a foothold in this half. They're taking away rounds from Full House. They're making sure that they don't completely run away with the half, but they're not stopping them cold. And that is going to allow this T side to likely take this one to almost definitely a 6th round and probably a 7th. So I think the best at this point that Flyquest Red are going to be looking for is a 5-7 CT half.
I think they could get a 6-6. I think they could do it. Need a little bit more out from the crew, and as I said in our pre-show, I think having the AWP and Fox's clutches may alleviate some of the pressure of the rest of the riflers when they know that one position of the map is being appropriately zoned, because you can't exactly go for something like a mid post or a doors smoke blow without a sniper rifle on the angle. So see if that will be brought through. But as for right now, as you say, there is very little on the table right now for Flyquest, and they shouldn't be all too frustrated or flustered with the result of this one in particular. Round number 9 should very likely be Full House, showing the reason as to why they're in the lead at this stage in the game. Otherwise, it may be the game going belly up, frankly, but not happening yet.
There actually hasn't been a single scoped rifle at all across either of these teams. There has not been a scout or a Krieg or an AUG or an auto sniper for, the trolls in the chat. Just scopes don't exist in this game, and it does too, and that feels really weird.
Makes a lot of sense that they would go for it here, though. So this round expires as expected, and no, still not enough money. Glass cannon? I mean, they can't really, because the only person who could do that is to be Marie, now is not the sniper of the team. So yeah, maybe a conversation to be had about money management down the line. I'm not 100% certain. I mean, you were saying also the fact that this is where usually the CT side is where Flyquest is to do their best work. And I mean, if one of your strongest pieces on one of the most op-centric maps is yet to even get the weapon in their hand and we're within 3 rounds of the half being done with, then I think we're running into a bit of an issue fundamentally here.
Yeah, your offer not having an off is like a queen, but she can only move 1 space in any direction. But look at these moves, though, out through the smoke on long. Emmy with 2, and Flyquest Red sets up 3 out long. There's still Coco waiting, sitting behind the smoke, but Horse Girl catches him. That's a triple for Flyquest to open up the round. And again, Flyquest Red doing their best work, catching Full House off guard, throwing something crazy at the fan. The smokes, the flashes, the chaos out long, and now Full House left to pick up the pieces. Gamble and Sabercat up through mid, going over toward the B-bomb site. Caught from Car, Vivian and Vanessa here. Flyquest Red, maybe, just maybe, getting the wind back under them once again.
Yeah, listen, I mean, Emmy has been pretty sufficient in a majority of the rounds where her vision is taken away. The 70% blinds and up still sees her get at least 1 kill, not going crazy on her spray. Muscle memory, you can actually tell, is so deeply entrenched into her game style where 2 kills there, again, with barely any sight. Does them a lot of good, allows her teammates to swing off the back of her success, enables them to hold down long with no problem. Fortress has been constructed, but it now needs to stand, and the foundation has not been so sturdy throughout the majority of this map just yet, but there's still time to come where they can change that. Looking at the timeout taken now, some conversations to be had by the Full House team, who have not yet had very many conversations as far as what their money is to look like. They've made their investments with little to no time in between, so
I'm a little interested. I thought this would be a force buy for Full House. Arush and Gamble, at the very least, could have... Arush could have bought more pistols for the team. But, all right, upgraded pistols for Full House. Fair enough.
Yeah, I think they actually could have gone for a little bit more if they really wanted, with next round being the last.
This feels like a missed opportunity to buy to me, but I mean, hey, it sets you up to go for that op in round number 12. So this is worrying. That flash out does not touch Emmy, and Fox as well. Absolute obliteration. Full House has been folded. Coco looking for something, gets ripped to shreds. Flyquest Red. I mean, you called a possible 6-6, and it's looking like it could happen.
No CT side up? Yeah, good.
There it is.
Last round of the half. I was going to say that Arush actually could have gotten maybe another AK-47 if they wanted to get their team the wealth fully spread, but a sniper rifle, for the fact now that Fox has one of her own, might be the best investment that they don't even know they made. For that reason, at the very least, to compete with the AWP on the other end.
Yeah,
a lot of utility being dumped here early. This is a little bit surprising from Vanessa, who at the very least does have Vivian, who, as per usual, is just enough well-equipped to resupply. But again, very early in the round is all that being thrown.
That the op makes me think of Gandalf in this game. You know, it wasn't early, not late. It's here exactly when it's needed. The last round of the half for both sides.
Sure.
And we'll see which one is actually the correct one. I have to see, though, the utility doing a good job of keeping Full House back down. We are 55 seconds in, and barely a point of damage has been caused in this round. Though Full House doing their mid to B setup does look pretty darn good, crunching in from tons and from mid. The Beyond getting caught behind the fire and ripped to shreds. Coco, now Vanessa has to do it all on her own, but there's another. Just too many out on that B-bomb site, and even worse, Arush is going to be shutting down mid with his AWP. Not going to be allowing Flyquest Red to cross, so this 2 versus 4. Fox and Emmy need to make quick work of their opponents. Fox going to be the first one in. Doesn't spot anybody. All tucked. Gamble from below. And it's just Emmy. Flattened by No Walk. Full House will claim the advantage on their T side. 7-5.
You know me, I'm always either Mr. Hype or Mr. Analytical. There's very little in between that for me. And right now, being Mr. Analytical and pointing out the fact that a lot of their utility on the B site was exposed early on, there was never really any pressure that actually required them to do so. It didn't actually elicit any of their nades intentionally. It was just decisions for them to throw it to where they were completely locked into that bomb site from both tunnels and mid, that they couldn't throw a molly or a smoke in one direction or the other to stop them from making that happen. And they needed a multi-frag, and they simply could not when there was no bailout opportunity. The nade through the mid-door smoke came late. They were already pincered at that point, right? So, if nothing else, I think that there's a lot of good to go back on in this demo and pull from for the future, but the T side is an entirely new world of play, and despite the shadow advantage, BB blasts the dual Berettas in lower tunnels. The element of surprise is something you have not.
Yeah, I like that, though. There is a lot to go and demo review for this one. The mid to B setups have been very successful by Full House, and I think there's something to be said for taking a look at what's going on with some of what was going on with Cat as well, but Flyquest Red, don't need to worry about that just now. The T side going quite well. Marie and Marie and Emmy already super close to sight, and it's just Gamble left here to try and stop this push, but Emmy already pushing on in, getting aggressive. That bomb looking to be planted here. Fox spamming down the cross. Wait, a whole lot of shots here, but there she is. Marie and Fox here to mop up the rest of Full House. Flyquest Red with a nearly clean pistol round.
That's more like it.
Might just bring this one back here. A very short order.
Dude, you're getting flamed for the thing that I messed up in chat.
I know.
That's why you gotta own it before you have the chance for anybody else to point it out.
Well, that's the fun of casting when you can acknowledge chat a little bit. Is like you can be like, oh yeah, I did say the thing. You're right.
Flyquest Red.
Oh.
I mean, just USPs right now. There is no expectation for there to be any greater hold on to this one. A killer 2 would be great. There was no head armor, it seemed like, onto one of those, but good spray from Vanessa in transition to the next of them. Not losing any more lives would be ideal, and leaving the last of the window. Snappy is needed to be 17-7. Really starting to scale the scoreboard now.
That was quick. Nice steamroller onto B. Get that force by done early and done, and
I'm reading chat. I freaking love Flyquest Red.
Yeah, I saw that too, and that's why I started laughing. I can't.
Friggin' love. All right, well, let's see if all those W's that have entered our vernacular may be able to manifest one for Flyquest Red here on dust2. Because certainly starting to stack them as we've gone on in the later stages of this game. It's the sniper in the third round brought through for the CT side of Full House, something that Flyquest were not as fortuitous to be able to afford. This may be the tide turner for Full House if they can make it work.
Yeah, definitely a worrying thing and something that sets them up. Again, on this long map, that scoped weapon being such a monumentous piece. Though there's only 2 players present here on the A-bomb site for Full House. Ott being one of them and setting up a rifle down long. So there's a place to overwhelm. It could be that, but Flyquest Red is going to give them the slip. Smokes out to make you think they're going cat, and Emmy just going nuts off in the other direction. But Marie watching the rotation through spawn, and looks like the op has already been called to save.
Yeah, reasonable, definitely. Obviously, tale as old as time. Going back into this side of this particular map with less numbers, not by 1, but by 2, is a death sentence that you'd be signing yourself. And knowing now that they've got that extremely high priority weapon in their arsenal, they'd like to not let it loose at the first chance. They get it. It's a lead now for FQR. They're going to be pretty happy about that fact. And particularly happy if they'd be able to snag away any additional weapons that their opponents hold on to, but it's just not that late enough into the half where I think they need to go throwing bodies in that direction.
So my question is, with the hunting that's going on, did Flyquest Red hear the op go off and that's why they're hunting? Or
It
'cause I
looked
don't
like they
know
were
if
going for it before they heard the op.
yeah, I
mean-
don't think they had the info that Full House had that weapon.
No, not until the player actually shot it when they had gone through long, no. No. You know, a couple players having died from FlyQuest, and the addition to their already pre-existing cash flow now gets Fox one to utilize. A little bit slow to the jump on the cross for 2 players over, and they're not going to be refacing. They're smarter than that, but Cat may be actually looking for something, but we don't get to find out because the game bounces us again. Damn you, Counter-Strike. Damn you, GoTV.
First season of the year, we get a nice big update with weapon balance changes and map pool changes. And then this happens.
It's just the nature of the beast, to be honest.
It is. I mean, there's something to be said for a game that changes as little as Counter-Strike. Hey, we're back in. That was nice and quick.
Hey!
And we're still in the same round. Oh, this is dangerous, though. Coco and the Alp waiting behind the smoke on
I'm
Cat.
up in here.
Well, it's just, I'm walking here. I'm up in here. Now they know that it's there.
Yeah.
Now they can avoid it as Urush fires off the first shot. Gonna give Flyquest Red some time to get set up here, ready for possible op v op duel, but it's gonna be the smokes to clear out Cat and send everybody over to the site. Maybe a push over toward CT, but no, Emmy out long, just gonna flatten everything in her path, and Flyquest Red now take a 2-round advantage.
Full House had the right read. They were going to actually search out the lurk at long doors. They find it, and unfortunately, when the first player falters, it's the second in which was just looking for a safe haven to play from while they scaled through the site that doesn't have one. They aren't quite ready for that next duel. They were giving full faith to their teammate to win out when needed. And when both of them are left dead in the water, it's a similar scenario to where 5v3, yeah, no thank you. We would like to just be able to buy up again, guaranteed. I doubt that will be a luxury stricken from them anytime soon.
Yeah, these saves just make Full House so scary from round to round, and that's, I like that Flyquest Red are treating it as such. It's one of it, the cat push being so measured, and again, it's a very different look from the Flyquest Red we were seeing last season, where we would get maybe a little bit of a weaker T side. Now it feels like the entries have been freed up. It feels like Emmy is just taking so much space for her team. It feels like having that AWP role in such capable hands has given the rest of the team so much more confidence. Oh my gosh, speaking of confidence, flashing and smoking in the Molotov, a good old-fashioned B rush. B beyond in position, window blown away. Flyquest Red already on the B-bomb site, and Full House are going to call the fastest save I've ever seen. 5v4, done.
That was getting a little ridiculous, frankly, yeah. I mean, that was an excellent entry from BBon. The utility was very well placed, with BBon needing, with swift flicks, to dodge the first of those flashes as it was meant to be, and able to train Crosshair very quickly onto Sabercat at window with no one even remotely near enough by to help out. And dust2 is a cruel mistress in that regard, burning out cigarettes on your forehead if you try to retake that B site.
Yeah, I mean, the good news for Full House is even if these rounds are starting to spiral out of control, the money is pretty well in control. Sabercat does have enough, and that the 4 weapons saved, as soon as they're able to find the right key to win a single round, they could really spiral that into more and more. Though the cash for FlyQuest is starting to get a little bit out of hand, and the pause, I think, is a good time for it.
They're having a back and forth in chat right now where Full House are saying, or no, where Flyquest are saying Fox season and Full House is saying Cat season, and they're going back and forth, trying to determine who's actually on the hunt right now.
Yeah, I thought we were going to be getting more poker references, but
listen, let's just say that I've got them in my pocket.
hey.
So wait a little bit. I mean, we've got ourselves a round right now where, sure, like save after save after save, but now Full House, having accumulated a loss bonus on top of the amount of times they've been able to go for their buys and saves, does actually set them up kind of nicely if they are able to just get their one. But back to B. It's nobody here. They wanted to scout up through mid, and I have a sneaking suspicion that they may want to actually go for this one, Floofy. Something tells me.
Yeah, they've let out just a few too many rounds. Oh, Bibian, she spots the nades flying in, and she knows that this is a plan of attack for Full House, but it feels like Flyquest Red, they've marked the cards, they've got the X-ray specs, and there's no secrets that Full House are going to be able to hold on to. Good flash does blind up Bibian, but Vanessa able to grind down through. 3 behind her,
Holy
and the 4th.
crap.
Oh my word, Rush left to wonder how this one fell to pieces. 52 card pickup for Full House.
I doubt even Vanessa knows what just happened there. She just saw red and went with it. And Full House, I'll tell you what, they're seeing red because Flyquest are all up in their face at the beginnings of almost each and every one of these more successful T-side rounds, and they're already staring down the barrel of map point if they're unsuccessful in putting these thousands of dollars they stockpiled to good enough use, because they haven't done just so yet.
Yeah, Full House are actually fairly loaded for losing as many rounds as they have in a row just from all of the saving, and I'm just wondering when the other shoe is going to drop, because it feels like they haven't been missing their shots. So I'm wondering where the missing piece is for this Full House squad. Ooh, such a close shot there for both players, it looked like, but neither one connecting. Looks like finally we're going to get something aside from just a B rush as Flyquest Red doing something a little bit more default looking. Amble going to be cut off with his Molotov. Oh, Bibian just pops up on Xbox right into the headshot. And again, Flyquest Red with the entries. One player left on the A-bomb site with Rush looking like maybe in a rotate position. Kill onto Vanessa. Could keep Flyquest Red back, but no, it's just going to be shoving right on in. Again, Bibian just steamrolling out through Cat, a nade and a rush down to 50 HP. And again, Flyquest Red map point 5-round buffer. I don't think we can afford to save anymore, Full House.
These off-spawn calls for map control and then just executing out of the initial phase 2 almost at the snap of a finger is actually insane. Very quickly they're able to get themselves together and coordinated for the hit that they'd like to execute for. Whether it be the tunnels or up through catwalk, out through long, it seems that this T-side has really figured itself out pretty quickly, whereas there might be a time where they'll be tested as far as their nuance and layering is concerned when they don't get opening picks or map control, but we've yet to see that in this game at the very least, so take what you can get and run with it. And it looks like they've taken the full sprint over the line, just barely. Not winning by a nose, but they're close to it. They're right at that final step. And you know what, Full House? They're all in.
They're all in. Unfortunately, all in is about 5 chips. Flyquest Red have...
Oh, damn, Chad already beat me to it. You guys can't do it before it's the last round, man.
They have many more chips, so Flyquest Red are able to match this all in round after round. Are we gonna seriously end this game on a B rush? We sure are. Sabercat, though, maybe prepared for this, spraying through the smoke, able to melt through 2. Fox with the no scope, but no walk appears to defend this site. A double kill might just be enough. 2 and 2, and Emmy left all alone. Recover the bomb. We'll be able to maybe get this down before Full House arrive. No, 3 players already knocking at the door of the site. Emmy forced.
Whoa!
Oh! field goal.
Lord. See you later. Sent into next round.
The hits just don't stop at this game.
Yeah, I hope that they're not one-trick ponying us right now, Flyquest Red. I hope that that isn't the depth of their playbook is a pretty good B-rush.
Okay, but what if we hit B site one more time? No, there's only 2 players out here. It does look like a full default here for Flyquest Red. Typical wait for smokes out long. Wait and see what happens. Gather information. Amble holding B blue here is a bit worrying. We just saw Flyquest Red able to hold through this. Really steal a win off of Full House on their CT side.
This is certainly going to be a decision that leaves them either empty-handed or in this round as the post at the corner straight through the smoke. Fox is waiting for it to fade to find the fight, and in it will go. Only as a matter of seconds, though, they'll be entirely aware of that fact. A reflash, another shot popped, and a rifler who's eventually out through these long doors, but caught from the crossfire. I can only imagine Marie finding that is absurd. 2 players low, but still a 3v3 with 50 seconds to play for, so don't let it fumble. Don't let the raising of the hand fool you, Flyquest, because you still may have your chance at this.
Yeah, that's the opera down on the cross. Full House, they do have some positions that are good for the retake, but Flyquest Red, if they move fast, they won't get pinched, and that bomb is going to be planted. Initiative going to be placed back onto Full House. A timer ticking. Beyond playing Cat, trades the 1-for-1. Now Sabercat on 50 HP. Doesn't have much damage that he's got to do. Both of these Flyquest Red players just about a bullet away from dead. They back away from the site. Although, no, Fox just holding from within the site. She's waiting. That's Marie from within the site. Pierced. It's just Fox, the AWP here to try to put a close to this round. Sabercat just going to hold this one against the offer of Flyquest Red, and Fox cannot finish the job. She will finally clean up that final kill, but it's too little too late. Flyquest Red allow Full House one more buyback into this game.
Pretty decent clutch. I was a little bit worried. They had an HE and 2 players were low, but Sabercat not looking to pull any additional nades, I guess, in that point. That's fine and fair. They split the deck right down the middle. And they catch themselves the kill that was required to get atop the bomb, and the best weapon on the other side for them to stick that defusal being the AWP. So, one more chance at this one. They keep on kicking. And this is going to be a great answer back in the head-to-head between Arush and Fox.
Yeah, that is already looking like aces in the hole for Full House. Taking out Fox that early into the round. She hasn't really been that loud in this game. Oh, no.
Spoiler alert.
Flyquest, I've got bad news. I've got good news.
Server closed. All good. Counter-Strike glitches are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back in 2020. We have ourselves the result being a 13-9 for Flyquest Red. The server had closed because of that fact. The GoTV being behind closed along with it. So, very cool indeed.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, it looked not so great with having Fox go down as early as she did, but whatever heroics happened, they'll be for the demo file, and we'll just get to say, hey, Flyquest Red up to a 1-3 scoreline. Full House actually looking pretty darn good based on some of their past games with a now 1-3 scoreline on the season. Arush being the big player for that Full House side, the AWP going big. But again, it's been the rifles. As much as Fox has freed up Emmy from the rifling position, it's been a lot of the trio of Vanessa, Emmy, and Bibian doing a lot of work to get Flyquest Red going. And this game is no exception.
Certainly, I think that was a strong outing by the ends of it. We definitely got to a point where I think it got a little bit more gimmicky than anything else for Flyquest Red, even in the rounds that they were taking and winning on T side. But overall, I think that they pulled themselves up by the bootstraps when required, with individuals starting to come online. I think particularly Bbon was really starting to fire off lights out, where they didn't have very many kills at one point in time. Each of them that they started to accumulate on the T side was more impressive looking as well as impactful than the last.
Yeah, it was. And I guess my big concern is that the CT side started off so back and forth for Flyquest Red, and they weren't when they had such a hard time establishing that initial foothold. It really looked like Full House could run away with it, but now we do have someone from Flyquest Red in the call, so it does sound like our interview is about to start with.
Bbon. Was I supposed to
Yeah,
be drum rolling for me? Was that
I
drum roll
was
for me?
I was drum rolling. I thought we were gonna switch to the camera, and like I could tell who it was.
You
But
gotta give the producer a second, but look, I mean, the second we do get Bbon into the caster's room, we got ourselves our interview ready and lined up to where it was a bit of a scary game, I will admit, at one point in time, and I think that you guys probably felt the same way at some stage. So I wanted to first ask how you feel about how the comeback actually began. Where do you think that really started?
I think we just kind of went into the half like just confident. We didn't let the first half really affect us, no matter how like messy it might have been. So yeah, I don't know. We trust like in our calls, in our caller, and we've been pretty solid with it. So it wasn't a surprise that like we were doing all the right moves, and Murray had the correct calls. And honestly, a lot of the mistakes were just like blunders from us, like in the mid round and stuff.
Fair enough.
a lot of the calls ended up being let's just go B, and it turned into the right call. Where did that come from?
I don't know, Murray's huge, massive brain, I guess. I don't know.
She's watching a lot of Jame demos lately. Just hammer on that bomb site with the weaker hold, and I think that it definitely looked like to
Yeah, I
be that
mean, it
bomb site
worked,
by
so
the end.
yeah. And then they
Yeah.
finally counted us. And then, yeah, we just went ours.
So you'll confirm, because I don't know, and I'm sure you've already been asked by another broadcaster, that it is Marie who's calling this for this team right now?
Yeah, she is.
Okay, so that's definitely good information to have, considering the fact that Marie is one of the more green players in not only just female Counter-Strike, but Counter-Strike as a whole. I find that to be super interesting. Do they bring a perspective to the game and an outlook to it whenever you guys are having like team talks, or whether it even be in reviewing games that you don't really have from other players, as well as the fact that she's from maybe Europe? It's a little bit different how you look at the game.
And why we chose her as the IGL?
Yeah, is it just like a new perspective that you didn't really have in the team that kind of like opens up your minds in some way, or what? How did the decision come about?
I think it was just mostly her personality. Like she, for as a player, you never feel like it's like all lost. You know, like when things go wrong, like she's a player that's like that gives you confidence in a way. I don't know. She just makes the game fun to play. Because like I don't know, but I'm not worried.
It's a good leadership quality to have.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Actually making it enjoyable.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. So whenever, like, say, for example, if we lose or whatever, like, it doesn't feel as terrible because she's just there, like, just being her. And, yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I did want to bring... Oh, go ahead.
No, go.
I did want to bring things back to that first half, though, where things were kind of a little bit uncertain. There were a lot of times where you were out early into things that looked like wraps. What was the rationale behind that?
Wraps?
Like early
like-
pushes, I think you're saying. Is that what you're going for?
Yeah, there were a lot of early pushes, a lot of early just getting really activated before there was information.
I mean, from my POV, I don't know if I did much, but in that department, but I guess we did. I think it's just like they made it like a just a call for themselves, and hopefully it works out. But then I don't know. We tried to do the same like game plan, and we were just like fumbling on like small things and just not being super solid on like their endings, even though like we kind of knew what they would do. We just like fumbled on the end round protocols pretty much.
Yeah, the last question that I had was in regards to, obviously, now with Fox in the team on the AWP. I think this game in particular kind of felt as if there was a lack of finances for one reason or another, where it never really seemed to rectify itself, and the only round that you had it on CT was at the last of the half. Do you feel that was something that was maybe missing throughout your CT start, having the presence of the AWP at all, or did you find that there was something else that you maybe just don't even know about yet that was actually going wrong?
I mean, no, we just, like, we lose rounds that reset us, and that doesn't give Fox the up at all. It doesn't make it easy on her at all. And I think from what Fox was saying in the game as well, it's like they were kind of avoiding her like all game. So I don't know if that was a factor as well.
Yeah, fair enough. No, that's definitely, I mean, it's obviously an individual decision at some point as well when you're the opper, because I'm sure that at one point there could have been a conversation like, guys, we need to get me an op kind of deal.
Yeah.
And if that's not really something that's brought on, then there's no reason to enforce it if you're anybody else, I figure.
I don't think it's like, obviously it's like one of her best guns, but she can definitely just rifle as well.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah. And I think if we want to prioritize like utility, I think we prioritize utility much more over like the AWP. So that's just how we play.
Yeah, understandable. I think that moving forwards on dust2, I was actually really excited to see the op a little bit more, and I guess that was a little bit of personal bias, being like, dude, no op again, damn it, no money, damn it, and watching it not be able to actually be swung onto, but maybe in the future.
You come back next game, probably.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't have any other questions, and I think we're just about out of time. So if you have any shout outs that you would like to give,
yeah, shout
go
out.
right ahead.
Shout out Logitech, shout out all the fans watching. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for broadcasting us, talking about our game. Thank you. And yeah, the team, shout out to them. They played sick today, Vanessa and me. Yeah, they had sick fucking rounds, honestly. So
you had a couple good rounds on T side at the end. Don't sell yourself short. There were a couple of sick, nasty entries and round closers, I will say. So
yeah, but they I mean, they carried. They kept us in it. So
fair enough.
It's just there to end it, I guess.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, Floofies. Time to wrap
All
it
right.
up.
Yeah, time to wrap it up. 3-1, Flyquest Red on a hot streak. And looking forward to the rest of the season. I think there's 2 more games this week. So there's Wednesday and Thursday. So don't go anywhere. Make sure you're following the socials. Make sure you're following the stream. The button is down below Tony. It looks like a heart. Go make sure you have that button toggled so that it shows you when the streams are starting. Any more that you want to say as we close out here? Why not?
Not at all. I think that it's just good to be back. Appreciate you guys in the chat, as well as for the players for giving us such a show, as well as for my co-caster and Floofies for joining me here on this one tonight. So thank you guys, and hope to see you again real soon, whenever that may be. But until then, sleep well.